Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Houston Sports Talk back in the video today, and the Miami Heat beat the New York Knicks in Game 6 and eliminate the New York Knicks in a great game where the Knicks played their hearts out in this one. But in the fourth quarter and, mainly second half when they needed, to win the most, is where they didn't play their best basketball. But I gotta give some props to Jalen Brunson. I mean, he was phenomenal in this game. Scored 41 of the 92 points that the New York Knicks scored tonight, and Miami got the win. But New York played great in this one. Miami played some great defense. Miami shot well. They didn't shoot well, but they just played well. 7 for 27 from three, but shot 40%. But, New York didn't do much better. Shot 28% from three and 38% from the floor. But Miami played some great defense in the game, which was the deal breaker for the New York Knicks. And they had that home court advantage, something has just been a real advantage for Miami in the playoffs. They're 5-0 in the playoffs. They won both games against Milwaukee and Miami in the playoffs in that first round, and they won. And there were 3 games in this series in Miami, and they won all 3 of them. So they're undefeated at home in the playoffs, and they've been really good at home in the playoffs, 5-0, and potentially looking to keep that streak alive going into the Eastern Conference Finals, as they will either play the Philadelphia 76ers or the Philadelphia 76ers, the Boston Celtics in the Eastern Conference Finals. That'll be the Boston Celtics. That'd be a rematch from 2020 and last season as well. They played each other. Boston and Miami played each other in 2020 in the bubble, and then they also played each other in the Eastern Conference Finals last year. So in the last couple years, they've played each other twice in the Eastern Conference Finals. So look to go back at it again, possibly if Boston wins Game 7 at home. But if not, Philly would be playing Miami. Whoever wins that Game 7 is going to obviously have home court advantage to start off the series, as Miami's the 8 seed. Getting into that, being the 8 seed, Miami is the second team in conference history to make it to the not Eastern Conference Finals since 1984, and that wasn't the Rockets when they won the championship, because I think the Rockets were the 7 seed. I think the Rockets won the championship, one of the championships. It might have been it might have been their second championship in 94, 95. I do think they were the 7 seed. I could be wrong about that, but they were either the 7 or 6 seed, but no, they weren't. I was thinking they were the 8 seed, but they weren't. But Miami will be the second team since 1984, since seeding became, in 1984, that's when, when the first time seeding happened in the NBA, and it's only happened twice, and the New York Knicks, and the Miami Heat are going to be the second team in history that it happens to go in the conference finals. And honestly, with the way Miami's playing right now and the way they're playing at home, I don't know. I think whoever wins, whether it's Boston who wins or it's Philadelphia who wins that Game 7 on Sunday, it's a hell of a matchup against the Miami Heat. I will say Boston and Miami rematch would be really nice. I kind of would like that more. But I don't mind either one. I think either one would still be a good Eastern Conference Finals, but I think Boston, Miami would be a little bit of a better watch, but that's just my opinion. But let's get into the game, though. 96-92 is the final score. Jalen Brunson scored 41 of the 92 points for the Knicks today. He was the leading scorer for both teams, 41 points, 14 for 22. He was fabulous in these last 2 games. Took over 38 points in Game 5, 41 points in Game 6, 5 for 10 from 3 tonight, 8 for 9 at the free throw line, and he had 4 rebounds and 3 assists. And then that was it for Brunson in this one. I'm going to go straight to the Knicks scoring. 2 20-point scores. Jimmy Butler, 24, 8 rebounds, 4 assists, 7 for 22, 0 for 3 from 3, 10 for 11 at the free throw line, 23 for Bam Adebayo, 9 rebounds, 1 assist, 2 steals, and one block. Bam shot 9 for 20 tonight. Then 2 other players for the Miami Heat in double figures, 14 for Max Strus and 11 for Kyle Lowry. You can go over the rest of the Heat scores real quick. 7 for Gabe Vincent, 3 for Kevin Love, 6 for Duncan Robinson, 8 for Caleb Martin, and 0 for Cody Zeller in 9 minutes. DNPs for Udonis Haslem, Haywood Highsmith, who's been playing most games in the playoffs until tonight, and then Jovic and Omar Yursevi are the DNPs for the Heat in this one. Knicks scoring real quick, 15 for Julius Randle with 11 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 blocks. He was awful in the series. Shot 3 for 14, 1 for 7 for 3. Was definitely the reason why the Knicks lost this series, just the bad basketball he played. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if the Knicks might be looking to maybe trade him, because he's a little valuable after the season he had. He was amazing in the season. Was an all-star player. Was fabulous. A good shooter, good scorer. Did everything really well for the New York Knicks in the regular season, but was just horrible when it came down to the postseason. But I also will say, and I'm not giving him any excuses, but he did have a really bad injury leading up to the playoffs. That the last couple weeks of the season. I think 3 weeks before the season, he got hurt. He was questionable to start off the playoffs. He had multiple injuries during the playoffs. I don't think that is an excuse for the way he played bad, but maybe that wasn't himself. I don't know. I have no way to find an excuse for the way Julius Randle played for them in this series. Just awful. 2 for Mitchell Robinson with 11 rebounds, 5 offensive rebounds, 6 defensive rebounds. 11 for RJ Barrett, 3 for Quentin Grimes, and then I think that's it for Knicks starters. Yeah, and then 11 for Josh Hart, who just had 2 twins. His wife and him just had 2 twins today. So was probably the best day of his life, but at the same time, ended out. I don't know how that feels for Josh Hart. I mean, you got to feel like, okay, even though we just lost in the second round, this is the best day of my life. I just became a father to 2 children. So, I know the loss hurts right now, but that this was probably the best day of Josh Hart's life so far, getting twins today. But Josh had 11 points, 7 rebounds, 1 steal, 1 block. He has a huge decision going into this offseason. He's a free agent, but he's expected to re-sign with the New York Knicks, and actually, what I've been hearing is he's expected to get around $15 to $18 million per year. So good for Josh, and congratulations to him and his wife on the twins. 7 for Obi Toppin, 2 for Isaiah Hartenstein, and 0 for Miles McBride, who only played 3 minutes though. Derrick Rose DNP, and Evan Fournier DNP, and Daquan Jeffries DNP. So that is it for the New York Knicks season. They had a decent season, but they played really good in the Cavs series. That was some great basketball they played in the Cavs series, and had a good Game 5 where they played some good basketball in Game 5. But besides that, I think besides Game 5, they really played good, bad basketball in this series. That's it for the post game. Let me know your thoughts on the game, and peace out.